Welcome back to another episode of The Scoreboard. What a week it's been. A crazy week in the NFL. So many injury news, so many game-breaking news coming up. We've heard from several different teams. The entire league being thrown upside down this week. So we have a lot to talk about. Also, of course, predictions for week 3. But Smokey, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Much better than some of the players in the NFL right now because apparently half the NFL is injured in week 2.
Crazy. It's a lot of players. I don't think there's any team left that isn't affected to some degree by these injuries now.
Man,
but I've seen that before, so.
I think it's a lack of practice in preseason, personally. I think it's
sometimes, yeah. For some people, it might have been too much. Also,
I mean, yeah. There's definitely overworking.
Because you got guys like Ben Roethlisberger, who I'm pretty sure he was hurt. He got hurt in training camp.
Yeah,
and just kept lingering, and eventually, that's usually how those happen. But let's get into week 3 first. Quick recap on week 2. Smokey, you got the results, bookkeeper.
I do, and I actually regained some ground on you this week.
That's what I thought.
You ended up with 11 correct predictions, and I had 12. So, thus bringing our total to 21.5 each. So, we are tied at the moment.
Close call. 11 and 12 is pretty good. That's really good, actually.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think we'll hit that number every week, but we did really well this week.
No, I'm going to have to check my exact record from last year and then compare that later. But I know that last year I had weeks with a negative score even. So I'm not trying to repeat any of that. And to see how week 3 is going to treat us, maybe wait for some more upsets. First, though, we have Titans and the Jaguars.
Titans and the Jaguars. This is really tough right here. It's a divisional matchup, so I expect this game to be close. And we had the news earlier today that Jalen Hurd wants out of the Jaguars. So Jalen Hurd. What am I talking about? Jalen Ramsey. Jesus Christ, me and names, man.
Jalen Hurd's doing fine. He's doing fine in college.
Oh, yeah, he's setting the world on fire, actually. Jalen Ramsey wants out. And see, that's what I get for just writing down Jalen wants a trade.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Jags and the Titans, I'm going with the Jags in this one at home because I see these teams pretty equal right now. I'm hoping Gardner Minshew can hold it together and put one over on the Titans at home.
Yeah. You know what? I'm rooting. Good. Gardner Minshew is a guy I'm rooting for sure. I like him.
Oh, and
I hope he can keep or fetch a starting job soon. I'm going to have to pick the Titans, though. Too much disarray going on with the Jaguars over the last couple of weeks. Titans showed some really good promise in week 1. The Jalen Ramsey situation. Listen, I know people are doing it these days when they're not happy, they want to leave. But you've shown promise. The team doesn't suck inherently, so no need to abandon ship, Dolphins style. And you can't you're a star player, I get it, but you can't just request a trade once the coach yells at you one time, right? So I think it's a bit of an overreaction there. We'll see if he actually gets traded. If someone's gonna be willing to pay premium for him because they're gonna have to at this stage in the season. But I'm going to go with the Titans. Okay. So Lions and the Eagles.
Lions and the Eagles. You remember when I told you last week I just had a feeling about the Lions and it worked? I don't have that feeling this week. I'm going with the Eagles. Stafford needs to get it together a little bit more. He needs to start hitting Babytron downfield a little bit better than what he's doing. I mean, Babytron is holding up his end of the bargain, but Stafford hasn't quite put it all together yet, although he's been winning, or at least tying and winning. But keep
going.
Going with the Eagles at home.
All right. I'm also going with the Eagles. I gotta pick Carson Wentz over Matt Stafford. Now the Eagles are hit hard by the injury bug, and your Falcons took, they profited from that. Luckily, got a big win out of it. But the Eagles were diminished. They were down to 2 receivers at some point, and you can't play like that. Even Carson Wentz can't play like that. But I think they're gonna get it done over the Lions, who have a better record at this point. Probably.
Yeah, technically they do.
They do. They have a draw. So Jets and the Patriots is next.
Well, I'm sorry to say, man, that I don't know if your prediction of the Jets going over 500 is happening at this point.
Yeah, I know that bet is basically. I'm going to resign that bet right now. You're telling me Sam Darnold is going to get sick and miss like a quarter of the season at least? Yeah. No, thank you. And specifically the beginning where they play those hard games, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, and they're going to be 0-3 after this week. So definitely going with the Pats, as I assume you are.
Would agree. They lost the one game of the season where they are vulnerable in Miami. They won it, sorry. Obviously, blew them up. Guess the curse wasn't strong enough this year even to overcome these kinds of odds. And they're going to blow out the Jets easily. Patriots have a soft schedule to start it off. And the Jets on their third string quarterback, Luke Falk, as much as he was, to me, somewhat of an underrated prospect. He's not going to win. And as long as Darnold's out and they're that diminished, it's a key player. They cannot win without the quarterback. And it should be easy pickings for the Patriots marching through that division. I think Buffalo's going to be the only resemblance of a challenge this year.
Although I will say, personally, I think Luke Falk is better than Trevor Siemian. So
agree.
I think they lucked up there, but they're not going to beat the Patriots.
Yeah, agree. Raiders and the Vikings.
Raiders and the Vikings, man, as much as I wanted to see the Raiders go on a roll, it didn't quite happen because they met the unstoppable. I'm going with the Vikings at home here. I can't take the Raiders serious as much as I wanted to. It's not happening.
I mean, no mortal is gonna stop Patrick Mahomes, it seems right now. It is crazy. The guy's on route to break every record he set last year. You might actually, for the first time in my life following football, start of next season, you might hear me actually say that Aaron Rodgers is not the best quarterback in football going into that year. If Patrick Mahomes keeps going on, I've never said that before. Never have. But Patrick Mahomes is different. It's crazy. So that's a different story. Also have the Vikings. Now, Kirk Cousins is no Patrick Mahomes.
No.
I still don't trust the Raiders to be a quality team. Vikings, they lost to the Packers, who seem to be incredible. Aaron Rodgers, I mentioned him. But they did win in a convincing fashion against the Falcons in week 1. So that's not the Vikings' fault, then, is it? They are going to beat the Raiders. They're at home. Should move to 2-0 to stay in that division.
Yep, man. I had a really good point I was going to bring up just a minute ago, but while we started talking about the Vikings, I forgot what it was. So we will move on.
Dalvin Cook. It was Dalvin Cook for sure.
No. It was Patrick Mahomes we were talking about.
It was. Okay.
Patrick Mahomes. If he continues on this pace that he is on right now, he is set to be the best quarterback of all time. I know you have your feelings for Mr. Montana over there, but
I mean, if he does this for 10, 15 years, you know what? And he put a couple rings on his hand. I might be able to disagree with it. The thing is, it's getting more and more tough to compare quarterbacks now to 30 years ago.
Exactly.
I know people love to have the Brady, Montana, even Johnny Unitas debate if you want to go further back than that. Yeah. The game is so different. The NFL is so different now.
Oh, it is.
Than it was then. It's virtually impossible, and people like to hype up the new best thing right now. Big consensus is Tom Brady is the GOAT. 20 years from now, I guarantee you, the media will say different stuff about. People like Patrick Mahomes, a good candidate to assume that role kind of next. But I think the comparison gets tougher and tougher every year.
I think we can't compare it though. Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady are technically in the same era because Tom Brady's still playing, and at this route, if Mahomes keeps showing out like he is, Brady's going to play until he's 65 to try to prove something that he's better than Mahomes. Probably.
But he's... I don't know, man. The way that Brady beats Mahomes is by having his defense show up in the playoffs. Because Brady cannot go toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes right now if it came down to it. The Chiefs and no one can, actually. The Chiefs and Patriots defense were equal. That would not even be a particularly close game, but we might see it. There's a good chance that this is going to be the AFC Championship game. And speaking of the Chiefs, they are in the top game this week against the undefeated Ravens.
And wow, speaking of, you know what? The only guy that has been able to rival Patrick Mahomes for that spot this season is Lamar Jackson. This should be
Some people may say Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
I would tend to disagree,
right.
But yeah.
He's been putting up the stats, but I think that is more due to
against the Redskins and the Giants.
Yes, exactly. Schedule and offensive line taken into account. But Lamar Jackson is good as he's been. I don't see him get one over on the Chiefs, but this will be a very interesting game.
Ravens have a hell of a defense.
They do. But nothing stops Patrick Mahomes, obviously.
I don't think anyone's going to stop Patrick Mahomes from lighting up the way that he's playing right now with the play calling, and it's a classic example of a vertical offense. You know, we talk so much about the dink and a dunk and stretching the field wide. The Chiefs' philosophy is so simple and so fun. You draft your receivers. Every pass catcher on the Chiefs runs a 4-3 flat.
Yes.
They go deep because Patrick Mahomes will throw for 80 yards. And it works. And people cannot stop it. Most explosive offense we've seen maybe since the Shanahan Falcons, maybe since the Peyton Manning Broncos. It's crazy. So I'm also gonna go with the Chiefs. I think they're just too high quality. Even though the Ravens are gonna drop they're on a good performance, but they're gonna get their first loss here. Speaking of the Falcons, they are playing in Indianapolis against the 1-1 Colts this week.
Yes, and we're going to disagree on this one because it's the Falcons. But I am going with the Falcons because I am not going to bet against the Falcons until they really just are horrible. They're going to have to really...
So you think I'm going to pick the out-of-luck Colts over the Falcons, who just came off beating a top 5 team?
Yes, you are.
You really do think I don't like the Falcons, right? You really think I hate them?
Yeah, because have you... Oh, you did pick the Falcons in week 1. I was about to say you picked against the Falcons.
I picked them against Minnesota, I didn't pick them against the Eagles.
And you were wrong. So
yeah, I was, but I'm going to pick them against the Colts.
You are?
I am. Listen, 60% of Matt Ryan is as good as 100% of Jacoby Brissett. And you got Julio. Julio's best receiver in the game. We just saw that he won.
Julio is on fire like NBA Jam.
Julio's crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Falcons. Actually, this is a must-win road game. Actually, if you're trying to make the playoffs this year. So definitely do agree on that. Broncos and the Packers.
Well, I don't think there's really much to say here. 2-0 versus 0-2. Got to go with the Packers, especially being at home. You know, that defense is not bringing it like they were at one point in time. And Packers defense has stepped up, and Joe Flacco has stepped down. Aaron Rodgers is returning to Aaron Rodgers form, going with the Packers.
And no one stops Aaron Rodgers in Aaron Rodgers form. Do have to agree. Packers are looking peachy right now. Beat 2 division rivals back to back. The 2 strongest division rivals probably. Back to back week 1 and 2. Best start. Arguably the best start in the NFL. People are overlooking it, but I think they're going to beat the Broncos for sure. Everything else would be crazy. The infamous pass rush by the Broncos so far, and haven't seen too much about the promising duo there, Von Miller, Bradley Chubb. Gonna go with Aaron Rodgers, gonna dissect that defense for a comparatively easy win. Now, this one's also probably not gonna be the biggest debate, but the Dolphins and the Cowboys.
Yeah, there's there's no debate at all there. Dolphins in tank mode. Dolphins could possibly get that beloved 0-16 title if they keep this up. I mean, who's going to beat them? Who are they going to beat?
Perfect season. They love talking about their 16-0 and winning the Super Bowl, so why not give them an 0-16? You know?
Yeah, and like we were saying, Dak Prescott.
I guess that also throws out my Tua Tagovailoa to the Bengals prediction if it keeps going that way. Bengals also haven't won yet.
Yeah, that's true. They haven't won yet, but they've put up much better showings than the Dolphins.
A couple of teams haven't won, including the Panthers. But the Cowboys should have an easy one with this. I think Dak Prescott is gonna keep up that pseudo MVP run for another week, maybe even another week or two, because the Cowboys have the softest schedule in the league basically to start this season off. After 2 more games against Philadelphia, it's going to look a good bit different, I would imagine, but shouldn't be a problem against the Dolphins. Micah Fitzpatrick now been traded to the Steelers, which is a very interesting point, by the way. We'll get to that later, including other stuff. But yeah, easy win for the Cowboys. Bengals and the Bills.
Bengals and the Bills. I predict that the Bengals are going 0-3, and the Bills are going to roll. I mean, they're at home. If this was in Cincinnati, I would actually not really lean toward the Bengals, but give them a bigger chance than what they have. The Bills they're actually looking good this year. I mean, they're not winning by massive margins, but they're getting the job done. They're doing what they need to do.
Yeah, the Bills are looking good.
They are.
Josh Allen looking super, super solid, and they trust him as a runner. We've seen it. They run that quarterback sweep with him. Got running backs blocking for him. He's a good quarterback.
He has very good chemistry with John Brown too.
Yeah, and we just might see an undefeated Patriots against undefeated Bills when it comes down to it.
Oh, that would be amazing.
That would be sweet. Yeah, I would agree. Bills should take this. Bengals they look good in week 1. Took the Seahawks step for step and lost by 1 point. They got blown out, and they did not play well at all.
Yes.
Terrible. Andy Dalton looked bottom of the barrel in week 2, and their defense got completely torched. So should be an easy win for the Bills. Giants and the Buccaneers.
Man, this really is a tough one right here. What do you say? I mean, I guess the Bucs have a better record, and they're at home. Chris Godwin is trending upward right now, looking like the number 1 receiver, like I predicted. Ronald Jones is looking like a nobody again. But
Ronald Jones was good in week 1.
Yeah, he was. He was actually good in week 1. But this past week, him and O.J. Howard were nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I can't believe that. O.J. Howard is not a fullback. Pass to that man. He can catch the ball. I've seen him do it. Going with the Bucs on this one, man, just because they're at home. These two teams are pretty close to even though the Bucs beat the Panthers in that rainy game by passing to Chris Godwin only. But yeah, this is going to be.
Pick the first time starting quarterback. Give me Daniel Jones in this game. No one has film on him. It's his first game. They can't scout him. The Bucs aren't even that good of a team.
Yeah.
This is my upset pick of the week. And you know what? If you want to, I'm gonna put a can of Monster on this one. I'm gonna go with the Giants.
Okay. I'll take it. I mean,
you got that bet? All right.
I might be wrong. Daniel Jones might just be the truth. He might be the next coming of Joe Montana. I don't know.
It is something new. He's going to be next coming of Eli Manning. If he looks, he
is Eli Manning. This is Eli Manning's son.
Yeah, but if he's postseason Eli, that's all they need. I'm very confident in the Giants in this one. He might not. He might win 2 games all season, but his first one's going to be one of them probably. The other one might be like, I don't know.
I'll give it to you, and that's a very high possibility.
But yeah, Giants in this one for me, breaking the undefeated streak. Panthers and the Cardinals.
Wow, this is not what I would have expected at the beginning of the season. I'm going with the Cards on this one. At home, Panthers. We don't even know that Cam's going to play. He's back out with his ankle injury again, so there's a good chance that he is not playing in this one. And Kyler Murray, although in that last game, I know you called that there was going to be a lot of quarterback running, and there was from Lamar Jackson. But
my claim was correct, and you didn't take it as a bet, but it was right. Quarterbacks outrushed running backs in that game.
I didn't look at the stats, but I didn't think that was possible because I did see that Kyler Murray had 3 yards.
Yeah, but Lamar had over 100.
Yeah, I think what was it, 150, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And so there was no quarterback rushing, no rushing yards beyond 150 from the running backs?
But here's my question. Say Cam Newton doesn't play. The Cam Newton we've seen in the first 2 weeks, is that Cam Newton really better than Will Grier right now?
Well, yeah, this may be a Giant situation. Maybe their backup is better. Will Grier is not bad.
No, he's not.
No, he's from that Big 12 offensive air raid style. And
Will Grier is a guy that I had projected to go 32nd overall to the Patriots when we entered the draft. That didn't turn out that way, but that seemed like an absolute fit to me. He's a pro quarterback. I believe. Maybe not the highest ceiling ever, but he can play. Throwing against the Cardinals, that's a chance for him to win it. I'm going to pick the Panthers.
Okay. I equate it to Mason Rudolph, as we'll probably talk about in a few minutes.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah.
So who do you pick again?
I'm picking the Cards in this one.
All right. So disagreement there. Pittsburgh Steelers at the 49ers.
Yeah, well, there we go. Mason Rudolph getting the start here.
Yeah.
I can't.
Why are you thinking? It's disrespectful for you to think.
It's the same thing as we just talked though. Will Grier, Kyler Murray, all these guys are going to be passing downfield a lot. But I'm not.
Yes, but look at the Niners secondary. They've improved a lot.
They have. I'm not going against the 49ers here. I'm taking the 49ers, but I could see the Steelers actually putting up a game for this one.
Thank you. I would agree. I mean, the Steelers now added Micah Fitzpatrick as a big addition, and they're saying we trust Mason Rudolph. They're saying we still have chances this year, and to have chances this year, this is a must-win game for the Steelers on the road, and this is not going to be easy. I'm also going to pick the Niners because 2-0 versus 0-2. Niners look like a top 10 team on the weekend. The play calling is coming into effect. It seems as though the appropriate quality of the receiving core is now finally arrived in the rookie Deebo Samuel, and some incredible run game too. Matt Breida, Raheem Mostert, Kyle Shanahan. He takes these undrafted free agents, turns them into elite running backs.
Yeah. But
poor the Niners. And flip side though, obviously, insurance bet 1 can on the Steelers. Do you take it?
Yeah, I'll take that.
All right, so 1 can on the Steelers. Going to write that down. Remind me later. Saints and Seahawks.
Well, this is another game that's massively different if we would have looked at this a week ago. And going with the Seahawks at home, there's no way around this. Teddy Bridgewater is not Drew Brees. And he's not it.
He's a similar style quarterback.
Similar style, maybe. But
there's like 20 years of experience missing.
Yeah, exactly. And he does know that you pass to Michael Thomas. If when in doubt, pass to Michael Thomas. And he did that quite well.
He does know that. They still have weapons, but at Seattle, Pete Carroll's defensive guy, he knows how to figure quarterbacks like him out. I think you're right on this one. The surprise factor is not going to happen here. Seahawks to win it against the Saints, move to 3-0. And by the way, this is a fun fact about the NFC West right now. 3 teams in the NFC West are 2-0: Rams, Niners, Seahawks. For each of those 3 teams, the last time they went 2-0, they went on to go to the Super Bowl that year.
Well, that's not possible, is it?
That is not possible. Not at the same time. But interesting. It's shaping up to be a good division there. Seahawks moving on to 3-0 for me, like the Niners, and potentially the Rams, which we are getting to later. Texans and the Chargers first, though.
Chargers did not look good. As much as I like the Chargers, they did not look good in that game. And the Texans are still looking fairly stout. They went down there and took it to the Jags. I'm going with the Texans on the road here. I think Deshaun Watson is...
I gotta have to pick the Chargers, but all right.
Yeah, I know. Well, you picked them last week, too. So how'd that turn out for you?
I did, but that was the Lions. But didn't you also pick them? Did you pick the Lions?
Yes. That was the one I had the gut feeling on, and I told you that. No,
really?
I was like, I don't know why I'm picking the Lions, but I got a feeling. And you're like, no, just go with stats. And I'm like, no, I'm going with my gut feeling.
That Matt Patricia magic.
Yes, he's got it. Not so much.
That piece of Belichick. Fair enough. No, give me the Chargers again. I haven't lost hope yet in Phillip Rivers. The Texans have a higher potential team, no doubt. Deshaun Watson needs to stop getting hit. I can't watch this man getting hit. This is Andrew Luck. This is the Andrew Luck story. He can't keep doing this.
Yeah,
and part of it is offensive line. Part of it is mentality for him. But he has top talent. If he plays to that, he can win. He can take him to the playoffs this year, many years in the future. Chargers for me for now. I believe Austin Eckler's still going to show up, and altogether they seem to have a bit more talent on defense. Even though it's going to be a close game, probably not even much of a home field advantage, of course, for the Chargers as always. But we'll see. Rams and the Browns.
Rams at the Browns. This is another one. A week ago, I would not have picked this team, but I am going with the Browns in this one.
You are. You realize the Rams are still a top 3 football team.
Well, you can say that, but I watched that game against the Saints, and
they blew them out.
No, well, only in the second half when the defense got tired and Drew Brees was nowhere to be found.
Without Aaron Donald. Well, against a quarterback they didn't have.
Aaron Donald came back in at some point, though. Am I mistaken?
Yeah, he did.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Oh, the Rams were super solid. Rams looked super. Listen, I'm the first guy who's going to be happy when the Browns win this. Mm-hmm. To give, obviously, so my Niners can win the division more easily. But no, not going to happen. The Browns, I think, still overrated. They played the Jets. It's not like they beat a good team. They played the Jets without Sam Darnold, without C.J. Mosley, without Quinn Williams. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to beat that team by 20. If you don't, you're probably not a very good team. Still too much drama going on. Baker Mayfield has not found his form anywhere near his form at this point.
I think he's going to put it together.
The Rams seem like a much more competent organization to me.
I do. I think he's going to put it together. And I really don't think Jared Goff is as great as the hype. I'm going to be on record now.
He's good.
He's
an above average quarterback.
Sufficient. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
He's consistent.
He's above.
He's got a great play caller.
Yeah, well, of course. Sean McVay is probably the best in the business. And that's why.
One of the best, top 3 for sure.
That's why I think any other coach outside of Andy Reid, Jared Goff would not be as good as he is. But
maybe Shanahan, maybe.
Maybe. I think Shanahan is more of a running back and wide receiver scheme coach than a quarterback, but
for sure.
But
I get it that Jared Goff is made better by his earpiece in his helmet. That no doubt about that. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the Rams every facet of the game right now just look better to me. Browns have all the penalties, all the drama and inconsistencies with their wide receiving. Jarvis Landry not happy with the catches that he's getting. Odell Beckham not happy with anything, no matter what it is. He's not going to be happy with it. Mm-hmm. And don't love that. So Rams for me it is. Even though, of course, rooting for the Browns somehow. Bears and the Redskins to close it out.
Well, neither one of these teams look great. One team is putting up much more points than the other team. But I don't think that Case Keenum and these Redskins are going to overcome that Bears defense. I'm going with the Bears on the road for this one. Not much more to say about it. They don't look great.
Definitely agree. The Redskins are terrible.
They are, yeah. But I mean, the Bears offense is terrible too. No matter what that win looked like.
Well, yeah, but they have a top 5 defense, and
exactly.
And the Bears aren't this bad. They're bad. They're not a good offense, but they're an okay offense. And the Redskins are terrible everywhere. They just suck.
Oh yeah.
And with that, we conclude the predictions for Week 3. Exciting week, hopefully ahead. But a lot of news has ran in over the last couple of days. Injuries, alleged retirements, and then not really, but quarterback replacements. And the big one, obviously, you look at Breeze, Roethlisberger, and Eli Manning not benched. Is it possible that 3 future Hall of Fame quarterbacks just played their last NFL game at the same week?
Well, I think it's definitely possible for Eli Manning. I'm almost positive that he's done at the end of this season. I don't, you wouldn't see him going as a backup anywhere, right? I mean,
no. He's gonna stay for a year with the Giants, mentor Daniel Jones. I don't think he's gonna. Right now, I don't think he's gonna get traded anywhere now.
I think he'll hang out till the end of the season and just call it quits at that. As far as Drew Brees, you never know, man. I mean, the way he's talking right now is the same thing as Big Ben. He's talking about, no, I mean, I'm not done. I'm going to be back. Don't worry, guys. I'm coming back,
No,
but I do.
We know that he's going to be out for the season. He's done at least for this year. With Breeze, not sure. So
I'm hearing
the estimated
right?
about 6 games, and of course, if he can play after that, he's going to come back. Teddy Bridgewater is not going to take his job in those 6 games. That's not going to happen here. Pittsburgh, maybe. If Mason Rudolph plays the way that they think he can, and if they potentially make the playoffs with him, then I can see that being it for Ben. Now, I know he still wants to play, but he's got a big injury now. It's going to sideline him for the year. And if it turns out that way, he's not going to return. So he's going to have to go play for another team. Eli Manning is probably, like you said, the most likely that he's just done. I think he's going to stick around for the season, like you said. And the only way for him to start again once this decision was made is a big decision, Dave. We've been talking about this for years with the Giants, but the Giants are super, super reluctant to change their ways. That's the conservative East Coast teams. That's how they are. But now that the change has been made, the only way for Eli to start again is if Daniel Jones really screws this up. Like, really, he has to be really bad, like Nathan Peterman, sort of bad. And I don't think he's going to be that. I think Daniel Jones is going to do well. He's probably going to do better than Eli Manning at this point. I liked him coming out of Duke, liked him more than most people did. I like the pick better than the Kyler Murray pick, for one, and for the Giants. So I would have wanted them to go Drew Lock. But Daniel Jones is a good quarterback, better than most people think. I think he's going to show up, and he's going to play decent. He's going to win a couple games, and that's going to be enough because the Giants aren't a very good team. But he's the future they have decided on, and they're going to try to build with him. So I do think that for Eli Manning, that's probably going to be a career. And then the question obviously comes up, like we've always asked, is Eli a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done?
Oh, man, that's tough. You know what? A lot of people are going to say yes just because of the 2 rings and who those 2 rings were against.
Yeah.
But if you look at the overall scope of his career, man, I don't have his record pulled up right now, but
I think 116. I think he's literally 500.
Okay, I was going to ask, is he actually above 500? Because I think he's literally pretty close.
500 if that was his last game right now, yeah.
Man, see, that's tough there. I mean, yeah. He didn't quite have the longevity as we're seeing from some of these other guys, like his brother and Tom Brady. Geez, I don't know, man. If I was put on the spot and just had to say something, I would say no right now. But those 2 rings definitely put him in favor, probably with a lot of voters.
I think he will. I just think he will make it because so much of NFL history, so much of legacy is built in the playoffs and the big games. And you think of the helmet catch, you think of the Mario Manningham catch, you think of, like you said, those 2 Super Bowls, beating that Bill Belichick defense twice. No one else does that. No one does that in general, but no one does it twice. And that's what's gonna be it. And of course, the Manning name. You got Archie, you got Peyton. He's got Hall of Fame blood, so I think he's gonna end up actually being in the Hall because you can't overlook those highlights.
Yeah, I mean that's true. That's why I think it's definitely possible. Yeah. But if I were voting myself, I would say no, just because I think, I mean, well, if we break this down to the basics and say the Hall of Fame, what is the Hall of Fame? The most famous players from history, right? I mean, definitely he's up there because of his name. He's up there because he has famous, 2 rings. Yeah, exactly.
It's supposed to be the best though, and that's where it's questionable.
Exactly, and that's a debate almost every single season when people are not
Eli
getting in.
Is in no doubt. Regular season Eli by himself,
no, not so much. Not. Yeah,
probably not. And I think we can agree on both Breeze and Big Ben. I think they're going to be Hall of Famers for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
The numbers, the rings, basically speak for themselves. The records even. Mm-hmm. But Eli, it's going to be close.
I say Drew Brees first ballot, Big Ben, maybe not first ballot, but he will get in.
He will get in for sure. And Eli, he might have to wait a bit. But I think he's going to end up getting in. And a lot of these young quarterbacks now, uncertain future, but the Steelers made a big statement in trading for Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
You got an outstanding quarterback class coming up next year in April in the draft.
Yeah.
You got some great talents coming out. And you're saying right now Ben might be done. Our franchise QB might be done. We're still in win now mode. We're giving up that pick. That first pick that might just be a pretty high one if they keep playing the way they have been. And we're gonna strengthen up our defense. We're gonna go with our guy, and we're gonna keep winning, which means that they still think they can make the playoffs. And honestly, looking at the rest of the division, say for the Ravens, the window's open.
It is. I mean, definitely the Bengals are not going anywhere. The Browns, is definitely up in the air at this point what they're going to do. They could turn back into the Browns at any moment.
Yeah. I don't believe Cleveland right now. I don't believe it right now. I got caught by the hype like everyone did in the preseason. I have to see it. I have to start seeing it. And getting destroyed by the Titans, then beating the Jets, it's the least spectacular win ever. That's not.
It wasn't a close win or anything, but
no, but they also didn't look that great.
I think they'll put it together, though. I mean, I really do. I think it's hard for that many stars that are used to being independent stars to gel. But at first,
they don't have a super easy schedule.
No, they definitely don't. But. Yeah,
their next 6 opponents are combined 10-1 right now or something. They got the Rams, got the Niners. They have to prove some games now.
Yeah, for sure. They don't have the toughest defenses that they're going up against in the next few weeks, until they hit the Ravens. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Maybe they're not the real deal. Maybe the Steelers only have to worry about the Ravens. And maybe the Ravens are just Lamar Jackson right now. I mean, I believe in Mark Andrews. That tight end is amazing.
Yes.
And Hayden Hurst is not bad either.
Yeah. The Ravens are low-key stacked, under the radar stack.
Yeah.
It's got to come down to Lamar Jackson, though, the way that they're gonna end up, because the team can go places. Defense can go places. Coaching, they're well coached. We know it. If Lamar Jackson keeps going the way that he's doing so far, they're going to be going far in the playoffs. He's going to be that deciding factor, the central part. And he's been looking great right now. He's been looking the best of that entire quarterback class this year, which he was my number 5, obviously. And of course, Sam Darnold's out. He's sick. We haven't seen much of him. Josh Allen probably looking second best so far.
He was actually my number 2.
Josh Rosen is just, God, he gotta be sick with the situation that this guy is finding himself in.
But as far as the Steelers, they do have a chance. It's amazing that how many Big 12 how much Big 12 quarterbacks that we're seeing, young Big 12 quarterbacks, that air raid system. We're going to see Kyler Murray this week. We're going to see Will Grier. We're going to see Mason Rudolph. We're going to see Baker Mayfield. Looking through the list, who else we got in there? I'm sure there's probably one other quarterback we could throw in there from the Big 12. And this is going to make for really exciting games.
For sure. Prove it games too for those quarterbacks, because Will Grier obviously not sure yet, but there's a good chance at least. If Cam Newton, honestly, the way he's been playing, he might get benched anyway. But with the injury, he's just not himself. Gonna be prove it games for these guys. Now, generally, I have some question marks a lot of times about Big 12 quarterbacks, but it's a new generation. Didn't love Baker Mayfield as much as people did when he came out. Same for Kyler Murray.
I didn't either, but he's grown on me.
Baker has, or Kyler?
Baker. Kyler is still... If you go just off what he did his last season there at Oklahoma, you would say, wow, he's the greatest quarterback ever. But since then, we've seen Jalen Hurd do even better. and that was following the heels of
the
what
NFL is a different reality.
Yes, it is.
You go from good offensive line to bad offensive line. You go from no pass rush to terrifying pass rush in the NFC West. Kyler, I'm still not on the Kyler Murray train at all. Actually, Baker, yes, I've seen he can play. Year one, he's passed the most important hurdle for me, which is I haven't heard much about him off the field. Now he's joking around, he's being a fool at press conference. That's all fine and good. When he came out, I said, I can't have you get arrested on video. I can't have you throwing all your antics off the field. I can't have that, and that affected my evaluation. I haven't seen anything from him on that front, which is the most important part. Now he's got to pull it together on the field.
Yes, exactly. Here's an interesting fact. If Will Grier does play, we actually saw Will Grier versus Kyler Murray at the end of last season, and that was a shootout. Yes. That was an amazing shootout at that. So, and speaking of Big 12, Patrick Mahomes, that was the other quarterback I was trying to think of.
He's a home run hitter. That's true.
For sure. But there's something about the Big 12. I mean, there's no defense in the Big 12. There is just offense.
No, not really.
We have more coming up, though. There's more coming into this league next season. There's Sam Ehlinger, who's looking like $1 million out there in Texas. There's Jalen Hurd. I don't know.
How much are you buying the Jalen Hurd stuff right now?
See, that's weird because you would have never, if he would have stayed at Alabama, if there was no Tua, you wouldn't be seeing this out of him.
No.
But then you could say the SEC just has better defenses. It's either the defenses in the Big 12 are just that bad, or there's something with that Oklahoma scheme and Lincoln Riley that just makes it perfect for quarterbacks. I mean, he may be the quarterback whisperer. Maybe he needs to be in the NFL.
He's a Heisman guy. He wins Heisman for his quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, and it's looking like he's about to produce 3 back-to-back right now.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think Tua's got something to say about that because, I mean, listen, if it's possible, okay? Baker, Kyler Murray all snuck into the Heisman somehow. With just the opposition that they faced doesn't surprise me much. I think Tua is miles ahead of Jalen Hurd. There's a reason that they put him in that championship game. There's a reason he won the job in spring. And there's a reason he's the best quarterback in college football entering next year's draft. So,
I will say this: Tua hurt my feelings in that championship game.
All because of Georgia, right? Yeah, it was Georgia.
Yes, and Jalen did it the very next season in the SEC game. But obviously, Saban believes in Tua more, and that's probably going to hold a lot of weight with the Heisman voters. So. You may be right there. You may be. There's just no hope for Jalen. But
it didn't last year, and it didn't the year before.
No, not at all. But he was a running back that happened to be playing quarterback. But now he looks like a legitimate passing quarterback, and maybe it's all scheme. Maybe
I want to see him play some real defenses. There's oftentimes that's why I'm skeptical of this division because it's oftentimes just a rude awakening when you come to the NFL. All of a sudden, people are rushing you. The game speeds up so much. The SEC is let's not forget the SEC is college football on hard mode.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For sure.
And I like my SEC quarterbacks. So I think Tua's still Heisman front runner to me. Definite front runner for the first overall pick. Come springtime in the NFL. And right now, good chance he's going to be a Miami Dolphin. And then what happens to Josh Rosen? Like I gotta keep bringing him up, but what did he do to deserve a pro career like this?
I don't know that he did anything. He did have a little bit of an attitude. Maybe this is karma. I don't know, man. But
that's what they do. Baker had an attitude. That they all do.
Exactly. So I don't know, man. I don't know that he did anything to deserve this, but the kid is just
honestly makes me sick to see him being mistreated like that. Worst team in the NFL. They trade him away after giving him no shot. 2 Surprise, surprise, the new worst team in the NFL, who are probably going to trade him away after giving him no shot this year.
Maybe he'll get a shot with someone next season. Who knows?
Maybe some competent team. Maybe some Saints. Maybe some Patriots. Maybe a team that actually knows how to play quarterbacks. A well-coached team. Hopefully. You can only wish for him to get a shot somewhere.
You know what I would be?
Being whatever.
I would be interested in seeing what Jared Stidham does.
That's
in the NFL. A good point,
actually, I think they might have their guy there. That's true.
Yeah, he was competent down in Auburn. Speaking of that division, the SEC West, Joe Burrow has injected his name into the Heisman running at this point.
A lot of people at this point are still considered. Yeah,
and he is probably pushing Herbert out for the number 2 right now into the draft.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait a little bit into the season until I make that judgment. But possible, definitely.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm going to come back to you on that Jake Fromm bet. Maybe I'll get there.
Yeah, I don't know about that Jake Fromm bet.
You can tell me how long you're still willing to make that. I don't know.
But I don't know. I mean,
he seems more friendly now.
He has a very good wide receiver at this point in George Pickens. He's a freshman, but he looks like the next AJ Green. And this kid is amazing. Yeah.
I think we got a couple next. AJ Green's playing in Alabama right now.
Oh, yeah, you have Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry Jeudy is the real deal. I mean, he's up there for a top 5 pick. Like, if he might be,
he might be the next Julio.
He might.
But then again, they also said that about Calvin Ridley.
Oh yeah, they did. And now he's playing with Julio. And actually, didn't he lead the Falcons in receiving last year?
Yeah, touchdowns. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's something.
What would be amazing if we drafted Jerry Jeudy this season and we just had the 3-piece?
Oh, well, you think you're gonna pick that high? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think you're gonna be. I don't think Falcons gonna be great, but they're not gonna pick.
You think he's gonna go? You think he'll go into top 10?
Oh yeah, I think so. Honestly, I really think so. There have been a lot of receivers recently that should have gone top 10, but he might be one of them. He might be the guy in a while.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that Julio was top 10 material, so it's definitely possible.
Definitely possible. Now, here's another fun fact that I dug out of the archives. When the Ravens faced the Cardinals last week, it was the first ever home game for the Baltimore Ravens where they did not have either Ray Lewis or Terrell Suggs on their team. And just so happened that Terrell Suggs was playing against them on that day for the Cardinals.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess that Matt was going to say, how is that? But then we got to remember, this only goes back.
Time in the NFL seems a lot longer ago. And there's another example for that, by the way. People have been mulling about Adam Vinatieri and his retirement. Mm-hmm. He's been making allegations there. Don't know what's happening. Apparently now he's still going to be playing. His game was against the Titans. And the Colts, obviously, they played the Titans. And when Adam Vinatieri entered the league, the Titans were still the Oilers.
Yeah, he entered back there in the leather helmet era.
Yeah, it was, dude. It's crazy. That guy's been around forever.
What is he now? 46? Is he like 46, 47?
44, 43? He's up there. He's getting
I thought he was older than that.
Is he? I don't know. He's the oldest player in the league. I know that. I think Tom Brady's second, but I think he's the oldest yet.
Yeah, well, you also have Matt Bryant. That's older than Tom Brady.
Back, right? Matt Bryant came
Yes, he did.
Right.
But Adam Vinatieri definitely is the oldest, for sure.
And probably the best kicker, at least, to ever do it, potentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm actually looking it up right now to get his exact age.
I'm not sure. He might be 45, actually. He might already be 45 or older. But
I hate that that it doesn't actually show it right offhand. You have to actually go through Wikipedia and find it. He is 46.
He's 46. Wow.
Yes.
Are we ever going to see a player make it till 50?
Tom Brady wants to, I'm sure. I bet at this point, Tom is 42, 43 now.
Yeah.
I bet at this point he's probably really contemplating going back on his 45 number and changing it to 50.
Wow. I'm not sure if Belichick's having that. I'm not sure
I don't think he will at all.
Because he's going to decline in quality, and he's been declining in quality. Now he's still good, he's still elite, but he's been declining a little bit.
Yeah, well, because they still have an elite offensive line.
And the best defense in the league.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
and Antonio Brown now.
Jesus Christ, we haven't gotten into that.
Yeah, and that's a whole other can of worms. How do you think his chances are of playing the rest of the season? Do you think he's gonna some kind of repercussions are gonna come from the league, or are they gonna let him play?
I give him a 10% chance, man, because because he's with the Patriots. Yeah, that he'll play the rest of the season. I give him a 10% chance because this is serious allegations. This is very serious allegations against him. And the NFL is conducting their investigation as we speak.
Yeah.
And any other player, any other team, he would not be playing right now. He would already be on the exempt list.
But you can't really put him on the exempt list, can you?
Well, Kareem Hunt? Well, he had video, though.
The exempt list requires a criminal charge.
Well,
and
Kareem
Brown,
Hunt.
What Brown is involved in, it's a civil charge, essentially.
Mm-hmm. I think Kareem Hunt didn't have any charges, though, and he still got put on the exempt list. Although he was reinstated with a suspension.
I mean, there's obviously, the commissioner, when it comes down to it, has basically dictatorial powers. Can do whatever he wants in the league. That essentially is true. But the question is, how do you handle it if you're Roger Goodell? Because it's not a simple job. We like to hate on him, but it's not easy at all.
No, not at all.
You suspend and put him on the exempt list. Turns out he's acquitted. Nothing happened. You look like, you just cost a team. You just cost a player, cost a team. You don't put him on the list, and the whole thing goes in front of a jury, and they find him guilty. You got a Ray Rice situation on your hands. Now you look terrible as the NFL. You got a terrible image for yourself. So how do you handle that sort of situation? Man,
it's really tough because he's going to get outlashed no matter which direction he goes in. Yeah. If Goodell decides to suspend him, for one, you're going to have Roger Kraft and Bill Belichick on you. And if you don't suspend him, you have this massive group of NFL fans that hate Antonio Brown that are going to be on you. Plus, you're going to have the feminists on you. You're going to have people not even associated. You're going to have advocate groups on you for letting this guy play.
Worst case scenario for Goodell is he does nothing and he turns out to be guilty, because then people are going to point fingers everywhere. Oh, look at the NFL, criminal apologists, that sort of thing. So, and you don't want a Ray Rice situation. They look bad, and you don't want that. No, that had other circumstances because he's already suspended. And then the video came out. They tried to suspend him again, but then a judge ruled that they couldn't because no new evidence was presented. So that was an unfortunate case in general, but very tough. So far, no action been taken against Brown. Now, the league is what, in my opinion, is the correct decision. We're gonna hear both sides. We're gonna do our own investigation. We're gonna listen to both sides and see how this thing turns out, and then hopefully make the correct decision based on that. Now, personally, I want to say I give him a 50% chance of playing the entire season.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, looking at the Tyreek Hill situation, which, you can hold up your scale and say that, the sexual assault charges are different than child abuse charges, which he never actually faced charges. He was completely cleared.
Yeah.
And he was never put on the exempt list. But I think both of those crimes are equal. And I'm not here to say either one of them did it or didn't do it, but we could see Antonio Brown not get anything from this. I mean, it's definitely
and the same thing is possible for the Brown situation. So it's a very complicated thing, and there's not a lot for us to say about it other than our opinions because we just don't know anything. And you gotta imagine, you know, Roger Goodell is in the same situation. He has no idea whether Brown did or not. But the fact of it being a civil case makes it much more likely for a potential jury to decide against Antonio Brown because the burden of proof in a civil trial is so much lower. If you're not looking at criminal charges, because with all the incidents that you've seen from Antonio Brown, I think most people just, you know, looking at all the stuff that's gone down and on a civil trial would say, you know what, I can see him do that. I can totally see it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, just judging from his mental state, a lot of people will come to that conclusion immediately. And again, I'm not making a judgment. I don't know anything. I think personally,
me either, is handling it the right way in not intervening right now. I generally believe that even an exemplist is a punishment, and punishment shouldn't be handed out until someone is proven guilty, even for the NFL. But I understand how the image of the league is being put at risk should he be found guilty.
Now, if we had a video surface, like the Ray Rice case, then it's over for him. It's definitely over.
For sure. Then it's over. But the video with the Ray Rice case was the different problem because it came after the suspension. So we'll have to wait and see what goes down with that. As of now, he's on the Patriots and he's playing, and he played well. Caught a touchdown, caught some passes. They definitely worked around the offense a little bit for him on that game. I think Bill just wanted to kind of show off his shiny new toy. I don't think it's going to keep going that way because that's just not how the Patriots do it. But in that game, it was Miami. It was an exhibition. You know, it was a scrimmage basically. Why not give him some exposure?
Well, let's outside of football just a little bit. Just looking, isn't the timing of this weird that the news comes out directly after
of what?
For the Antonio Brown situation. The news comes out directly after he signs with the Patriots.
Yeah, and the Patriots apparently did not know about that situation before.
Yeah, well, they can say that, but. Hold on, you have it's 3 cases in total, right?
Oh, yeah.
3 allegations. So, are we talking about 3 different people?
I think we're talking about 2 incidents and 1 incident per person. So 2 people, I think, if I'm understanding the situation correctly. It's pretty complicated. I'm not quite sure, but it's been reported that, you know, negotiations have been going on behind the scenes for settlement for months now.
Yeah, so that leads me to wonder, did the Raiders know about this?
Did the Steelers know about this?
Yeah, exactly.
And also, with every single day, I want to just note this. We ridiculed the Steelers when they made that trade. We said they got peanuts for Antonio Brown. With every single passing day, the Steelers are looking better and better as the emerging winners of the situation.
Looks like they made the right decision to me because
we've seen another team already, the Raiders, getting rid of the whole situation for free already.
Yeah.
And it's going to be increasingly hard. If Antonio Brown, if stuff keeps coming out, keeps going, he's found guilty, gets possibly released from the Patriots, then it's going to be tough for him to find another job in this league because the people will only put up with so much.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. If he gets released and this whole situation turns out to be justified, or not justified on his part, but these are not false allegations in any way, he's never working in the NFL again.
Probably not. Gonna be a tough situation. But
Ray Rice. Yeah, Ray Rice actually works for the NFL now. He doesn't play, of course, but he actually works for the NFL and he does motivational speeches or something to that effect. But I don't see this ever happening for Antonio Brown if this turns out to be.
I don't think so. There's just too much. There's such a long list of stuff at this point that I think most teams just don't want anything to do with it. I think people just want to stay away. Patriots, we know, don't need him, so they are not bound. Their success isn't bound to Antonio Brown, so they can get rid of him at any time that they want. Like, he's lost his leverage at this point. There's too much stuff that's been going on internally with the Raiders, internally with the Steelers, off the field apparently. That he's just not a desirable player to have in your locker room anymore. But we'll see how that develops. We'll see how the football develops. And just a quick announcement though. We've talked about it last week's podcast. Mr. Olympia obviously went down on the weekend, and I predicted and expected, Brandon Curry ended up winning the open division. I think deservedly so.
I also
biggest
predicted
disappointment. That. You also did predict it. That is correct. I did, however, predict it. I've been predicting it for half a year now, so I think I'll feel justified there. Question that's always going to be brought up: could he have beaten Sean Roden? Could he have beaten Phil Heath? If it came down to it, I think just purely from his showing, yes, but if the names had been on stage, I'm not so sure. See, if Sean Roden is there, he's the defending champion, has an advantage.
Yes.
If he came in, which it's unfortunate that he couldn't, but if he came in, I think he still had a good chance to defend his title. Big disappointment to me was Rolly Winkler. I think we talked about that, but he just came in so off. It was not pleasant to watch.
Mm-hmm. Dexter Jackson had a good showing.
He had a good showing for an old guy for sure.
Maybe his last one.
The big surprise, Hottie, obviously.
He
looked great.
I'm glad I brought him up last week because he definitely came in and showed out.
He came in hot, and that was a good show. He could have competed in the 212 section, by the way.
He
would have likely won that. But coming in third place in open versus winning the 212, that's a difference in like $70,000 or something. He's making six figures in the open division. Coming in third, so that was a good decision on his part. And he could have been second. He could have actually come in second. It would not have surprised me too much. Would have been legit to me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he looked really good, man. The vascularity was amazing.
He did, and Bonac did not look his best of the year, but solid win for Brandon Curry. Just got to point that out. So I think we're done for the day. It's been a long week, and we probably still have a bunch of news to come up before the NFL kicks off again on this weekend. But interesting games. We'll keeping score of our bets also. Got to write two of them down, which I think you have a good shot of winning at least one of them, but maybe I'll get some of them. I'm counting mostly on the yearly bets here, but the 201 already seems to be going downhill rather quickly for me. We have to come up with some more of those for sure for me to have that pizza party with JJ here. So that's looking tough right now. But thank you for watching, everybody. So you got anything to say?
No, I think that'll be it for this week.
All right, been a good show, and until next week, obviously, see you for the next predictions and some reviews. See how the weekend goes down. How many teams are going to be undefeated? How many teams are going to be without a win? There's probably going to be a bunch in each category still. But until then, thank you for watching. Drop a like on the video. Go check out the Trash Talkers if you're on Beyond Football. And if you are on the Trash Talkers channel, Smokey Hollywood, come over to Beyond Football and check out my content. Hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Also, subscribe to both their channels and keep listening to the Scoreboard. Fun producing this, and I think I still have a good shot in the prediction game, but gotta have to step it up. Last week was very strong on both of us, actually. 12 is fantastic, so that was a good weekend.
Thank you.
See how that goes on. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Yep. Deuces.